Welcome to the Fantasy Kings podcast, where we're all about making you money and getting you paid. My name is Brandon Herbert. That's Jahad Caesar, and why don't we just jump right into it and get started?
Let's
We've
go. Go.
we've made a couple lists, but we're going to start with the running backs today to try to get you prepared for the upcoming drafts in the next couple months. So we're going to be just doing position by position, just trying to get everybody ready. Uh, and I mean, I myself have won plenty of leagues. Jihad as well. We kind of know what we're doing, and we just decided to do this just to have a little bit of fun and to try to help everybody out.
Definitely. Just getting ready for draft season, man. It's you can't win a league you can't win your league at the draft, but you can definitely set yourself up. So, like you said, just trying to have some fun, just trying to get you guys some good information, help you win some leagues. No donating. That's the goal. No donating.
Exactly. It's all about. I mean, yeah, fantasy football is great fun and everything, but it's so much more fun when you win. So,
Definitely.
all right. So, let's look at some of the lists that or let's look up our top 12 running backs. Myself and Jay have made list, and let's just go over our top three. Pretty much is the same. Well, not pretty much, it is the same. And we have our first difference at number 4. I have Saquon Barkley, and you have Derrick Henry. I know that you're still pretty high on Derrick Henry. I just see like a little bit more value. Well, I guess Saquon, the one question I have with him is his injury history. And I mean, it sucks drafting someone that high and then they get injured. So you always have to be careful with that. But I just see so much more upside.
Yeah, no, definitely. The thing at first, I just want to say, guys, this is just a top 12 list of how we think it'll finish, not how you should be looking to draft this. For instance, like you just was talking about with a Derrick Henry, he's gonna go in the top 4. I'm comfortable taking him there. I just look at CMC, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, and Derrick Henry is just a top tier for me. But like you were just talking about, Saquon Barkley, he's right behind that for me. He's also a guy that I would love to have as my RB1. Would have no issues with it at all. It's just for me, with my top 4, it's just after that, I think it's a little bit of a tier break, but not much.
All right. So tell us about like why do you think Derrick Henry deserved that? I know that he has a big workload and everything. Like I said, I'm a little bit concerned about his running style, and he's been doing this for a while now. Um, but I mean, I can't argue with it. It's Derrick Henry is he is, like, as you can see, he's my number 5.
Like you're just saying, injury concern. That's the biggest thing for him, right? How long can he hold up? Can he do this again? Can he have another 300 plus carry season and just keep doing this year after year? I'm just gonna bet on it. I'm just gonna take it for what he's been showing us for the last couple of years, and I'm comfortable drafting him like that. But again, that injury risk is there. I mean, it's definitely there. But just assuming no injury, you could lock him in as another top 5 running back again this season. You could lock it in.
Yeah, I mean, but be careful though, because like I said, remember, they're the running backs. They don't really have a slow decline. Like they're like elite one year and then garbage to the next. So just be careful with that tread. But I would never tell somebody not to take him in the top 4. Um, so moving on, we have our number 5, 6, and 7. Mine is Henry, Aaron Jones, and Chubb. Yours is Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, and Saquon Barkley. I know that I don't have Najee in my top 12, and it's simple to me. Like, I think he's going to be a good back, but the offensive line is terrible. I mean, and they were terrible last year, and then they lost 2 starters on the offensive line. Unless this dude is going to be some Adrian Peterson type guy, Barry Sanders type guy, where he doesn't need an offensive line, I can't not see me taking him in the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and again, like I said at the beginning, you know, I'm not saying draft Najee Harris is the number 6 running back off the board, right? His ADP, he's going in the 3rd round. I love him there. If he creeps up a little bit to the 2nd round, I'm still comfortable with it. For me, the amount of work he's gonna get. We saw last year with James Conner before he got hurt, even with the line being what it was, right? He was a serviceable RB2 for you. He was serviceable. The line, like you said, they lost a couple of starters. There could be a regression. But for me, it's just I'm just looking at how much work he's gonna get. He's gonna catch a lot of passes. That for me is gonna be the difference maker for Najee Harris. He's a guy who could easily catch 50 plus passes this season, which is a huge part of his finishing as a top running back, right? 50 plus catches, you're on your way to being a top running back. And that's just what I'm looking at. He's gonna have that heavy workload right there. Touchdowns. He's gonna be the touchdown guy. He's gonna be the goal line back. It's a good defense. It's a good football team. They're going to be in favorable positions. They'll be running out leads late in games, and he's going to be the touchdown guy. For me, it's a slam dunk top 10 pick, but I would not draft him in the first. Where his ADP's at right now, I love getting him right there, 3rd round. But for me, Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, and Saquon, they're all on the same level for me. You could flip the order. You could go Saquon, Aaron Jones, Najee. It doesn't really matter. It's really close between those 3 for me. Very comfortable. Any one of them is my RB1. But again, Najee, that workload, the catches, the touchdown equity on a good Steelers team with a good defense, I love it.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Najee as you, but Aaron Jones is, I should have put an asterisk aside. If Aaron Rodgers is not on the Packers this year, or if he just is holding out or whatever, he's probably not even in my top 20 because like Aaron Jones, I look at him, he's a good back. I just don't think he's an elite back. He's an elite back. His stats say he's elite, which is pretty much what fantasy is about. But it's because of Aaron Rodgers and him only having to be 5 in the box, like 5, 6 in the box. He never has a loaded box, and plus partner that with having a great offensive line, like it's just easy money for him.
I agree. Without Aaron Rodgers, he definitely takes a fall in the rankings. But just assuming right now that Aaron Rodgers comes back, it doesn't look very likely, but just assuming that he does come back, he should repeat as, like we said, a top 10 running back here. The opportunities are just great. He's very efficient. He's gonna definitely be splitting work this year with AJ Dillon, without a doubt. But he's very efficient. Touchdown opportunities with Aaron Rodgers there, as you were just saying. So yeah, top 10 running back. That's assuming Aaron Rodgers comes back. Without him, again, like you said, he's definitely not an RB1 or somebody that I would want as my number 1 running back without Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the my next, Nick Chubb, and then I have Austin Eckler, and then I have Zeke, and then I have Mixon following up. I'm a little bit higher on Chubb than you, actually a lot higher, because like he's still, to me, he is he's a very efficient back, and to be as powerful and everything as he is, he's not necessarily touchdown dependent, because in my view, because he's going to get 20 carries, and they've been throwing to him a lot more the last couple years. Now obviously to be in the top 5, that's why I don't have him in my top 5, because to be in the top 5, if you want him as a top 5 back, then he will be that touchdown dependent. But I can have him as a good RB1, and him average 15 to 18 fantasy points consistently. Like, that's how confident I am in Nick Chubb.
Yeah, no, I like Nick Chubb a lot. You know, I think he's a top 5 running back in the league. If we're just talking about just running backs. But again, like we just said, talking about the catches. I mean, what's his catching upside? I mean, if he catches 30 plus passes, it's he had a good season catching the ball, right? So with having Kareem Hunt there, who's gonna be the third down back, that just takes a little bit off of him. But he's an elite running back who is very efficient, even with all those carries he gets. He's very, very efficient. He's gonna have pretty much all the goal line work. That's his job. I'm not worried about Kareem Hunt taking too much from that. So yeah, I mean, I have him as a lower end RB1, but still a guy that if I come out the draft with Nick Chubb as my RB1, I'm doing good right there. So I just don't like him as much as some other guys, just because I think the upside is capped a little bit. But yeah, he's definitely still an RB1 without a doubt.
Yeah. And we pretty much have this player rate the same. So I think that this player has top 5 potential upside, but he can never stay healthy, and that is Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, I mean, every time he play, he's been playing on limited reps. Last year he had more reps than normal, but for the last few years he's been playing on limited reps. I mean, every time he touches the ball, something good happens. Like, I am so excited about Austin Eckler, but I'm so scared and worried as well because, like, yeah, he just got to stay healthy. That hamstring kicks his butt every year.
Yeah, Eckler has top 5 potential, like you were just talking about. I'm not worried about him having to split carries. They didn't really bring in too much competition, so it'll be him, Justin Jackson, and the rookie from last year again. Don't even want to say his name. He's a non-factor, right? So Austin Eckler opportunity is going to be there. He's going to catch a lot of passes. The only thing it's 2 things, like you just said, the injuries, if he can stay healthy, but as well as touchdowns. He's not a high touchdown guy, right? So if he could get those touchdowns up as far as rushing touchdowns, it's an easy top 5 running back. So yeah, I'm high on Eckler as well. I will be comfortable with him as my RB1, obviously. But just the touchdowns concern me a little bit. If he could get his touchdowns up closer
Well,
to
the
9.
touchdowns may be a problem or of concern, but he catches the ball so much. I
Right.
think
That's why
that it kind of weighs it out or evens it out
that's
a little bit.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes him still an elite fantasy option, is because he's gonna catch so many passes. I'm just talking if, as far as his upside, if we are gonna talk about repeating as a top 5 running back again, like he did a couple of years ago, I would think he just would need to get a little bit more touchdowns, which would be nice. I mean, if he could do that, we're talking about an elite fantasy option here. But yeah, definitely still a great RB1. Very excited for Eckler.
Another running back that I think will be a steal if you can get him later in the first round, maybe around pick 10 to 12 or however much many people are in your league. Uh, would be Mixon, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, to me, he he's been putting up numbers when they're not using him correctly. He like it's like every year that he because he's been on my team for the last few years, and every year to me he's like they don't start realizing they're like, okay, in week 8, oh hey, we have Joe Mixon. I forgot he can run the ball. Like like it's like they just they just don't use him correctly. And but I think that he finally might. They just paid, didn't they? Just pay him. I think they just paid him.
Yeah, he got paid.
He just got paid, and then and I think that that they're going to use him more. It's just the fact if the offensive line can hold up.
That's a huge concern, right? That offensive line, man. It's just it may not be as efficient as we would like him to be, or as consistent, but I'm excited for him this year just for this fact that Giovanni Bernard's not there anymore. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. Giovanni Bernard's been getting a lot of work in the passing game. It's mind boggling, as you were just saying, like as far as the usage, why isn't he getting more work through the air? Why aren't they sticking with him on the ground as much as they should be? But hopefully the line is a little bit better. They did some things to try to move some pieces around, and hopefully, like you were just talking about, they use him the right way, and he gets more work through the air. If that happens, and he stays healthy, It's a top 10 running back. You can lock it in.
Uh, I definitely agree. So, uh, Zeke is my number 9. He is your number 12. Uh, I'm not as high. Now looking at it, I would probably put Mixon over Zeke because I'm just losing confidence in what Zeke can provide, and they might be split. Always have to look at Tony Pollard because I think that Zeke is slowing down, and I think that they will be wanting to go towards Tony Pollard more for multiple reasons. I do think that this is Zeke's last year in Dallas. Uh, so they're probably trying to get them a good look because after this year, even this year, but after this year, he's gonna cost them way too much. Um, yeah, and I mean they still have a pretty good offensive line and everything like that. Zeke still can run the ball, but you can tell that he's lost a step.
Yeah, the efficiency has gone down for the last 3 seasons, right? Zeke for me though is probably the most interesting in the top 12. I have him ranked at number 12, right? As my last RB1, right? But he's a guy who could easily rebound and become a top 5 running back again. Like you said, it's gonna come down to usage. How much does Tony Pollard eat into his work and efficiency? I mean, 3 yards, getting 3 yards here, 3 yards here is just not gonna lead to a whole lot as far as yardage. But the touchdowns should go back up with Dak coming back. This is gonna be a better team with Dak Prescott back, so his touchdown chances could shoot right back up to where they were before. And remembering before Dak got hurt last year, Zeke was a top 5 running back, so he could literally just go right back to that. I'm just a little bit nervous about that, but I will still be comfortable with him as my RB1. It's just it's a little scary for me, but he could really go right back to being a top 5 running back. It could be that simple with that coming back.
Yeah, awesome. I totally agree. Well, like we'll go to our differences. Or one of our only differences, I believe, that I'm looking at both of the lists now is you have Najee and I have Josh Jacobs. Now Najee, he I get that he's gonna get a big workload and everything, but like I said, I'm not as high on him as you. But Josh Jacobs, I don't see how you can leave him off because Josh Jacobs every year that he's probably the Raiders' only good thing on offense. Like, like he is touchdown dependent, but he gets those touchdowns. Like in the red zone, he'll score for you. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think that is definitely our biggest difference. I just can't get on board with Josh Jacobs as my. I would not be comfortable with Jacobs as my RB1, just from the standpoint of Kenyon Drake being there. Drake's not gonna take too much of his work, right? He's gonna be the third down back primarily, but there is just that chance that he eats into his touchdown work. If Drake is to eat into Josh Jacobs' touchdown work, you're going to be very, very disappointed with having Josh Jacobs on your team. A lot of people were disappointed with having him on their team last year. He finished as a top 10 running back, but it was very, very, very inconsistent because of that touchdown dependency. And it could get worse this year with Kenyon Drake joining the team. But his RB2, I would still have him as my RB2. But if he's my RB1, I would hope that I'm stacked at receiver by that point.
And finally, for this is probably he's probably my most hopeful and most excited player on the list, and he's on both of our lists, and that's Jonathan Taylor. I think he has tremendous upside, and he's going to be probably in the back of the first, but if you can get him in the second, do not hesitate at all. I'm telling you because like Jonathan Taylor, he started his career off a little rocky. He had a little bit of a fumble problem and everything, but when he got that, hold of that, the Colts have a really good offensive line. Yes, they did lose their starting left tackle to retirement, but they have a really good offensive line. And I truly believe that Jonathan Taylor is going to be an absolute beast this year.
Yeah, I'm high on him too. It's gonna be a committee backfield. Unfortunately, I mean, if they would just give Taylor the ball 20 times a game and throw it to him a few times a game, we'd all be happy. He's easily a top 5 running back in that circumstance. But bringing back Mac, Naheem Hines is going to be involved on third downs. It just caps him a little bit. But like you said, man, he's just as exciting as anybody as far as an upside perspective. The upside is huge. He's probably going to be a mid first round pick, honestly. So around that area, I probably would be looking to get a Devontae Adams or a Stephon Diggs and just come back in the second round and grab another running back. But if, like you said, if he was to fall a little bit to the bottom of the first, I'm jumping all over it. But I'm excited about him as well.
Awesome. So that is our top 12 running backs. Next week, maybe in the next couple of days, we'll try to pump out another one. And what we're going to be trying to do, we're going to be trying to have a lot of fun. So we're going to do a few mock drafts, way too early mock drafts, a few mock drafts, a few simulations, and we're also going to let you guys see one of the leagues that we're in our actual draft when that happens. But before we leave, how about give us one or two sleeper picks at running back that you can get in like the 7th, 8th round.
Okay. Well, as far as just regular sleeper, right, a guy who I think could end up having a breakout season is that you could get maybe not too late, but relatively late. I like Mike Davis. I like his opportunity that he has. Not super talented, so he might not do a whole lot with the opportunity, right? But with no competition, right? Who's his backup? Cordell Patterson? Come on. So I like Mike Davis. I think he'll probably end up can give you good flex value this year. So you could get him pretty late, and could probably play him in your flex all season.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I mean, I'm a Carolina fan, and he was very, very serviceable, and he actually brought something to the game that I didn't think he could do, which is receiving the ball. He was pretty decent at that. It wasn't like something that was like, wow, so crazy, but he was pretty decent at receiving and catching the ball. For me, I think now it's a stretch that he might be there in the 7th, but if Myles Gaskins can last that long, or heck, you can even take him in the 4th or 5th and be happy with it, because they didn't bring in anybody else. Like, they didn't bring in anybody else, and he was very, very more than very serviceable last year. I totally believe that he is going to be a top 15 back.
He has the upside, like you just said. There's no competition, like pretty much no competition at all from over there either. And just one guy that I want to just highlight, James Robinson. He's being left for dead, and I'm not exactly sure why. He's gonna be heavily involved in his offense. ETN is there, but if James Robinson gets off to a hot start, they're not taking him off the field. So James Robinson is a guy I'd be willing to take a shot on a little bit later, just because he's dropping and being left for dead.
And I mean, and also as a pure running back, they're gonna lean towards James Robinson way to when they need to get the yards and get them done and everything.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a blast, and this has been really fun to get to get with you guys, and actually, like, hopefully we can help you guys out. Like I said, whenever we get a little closer and everything, we'll be doing, like I said, mock drafts. We'll be doing the fantasy league, or the daily fantasy league and everything. We'll be trying to help you find some good sleepers. And we're not gonna be one of those shows that we're just saying stuff that we don't truly believe in. We're gonna be trying to help you guys out, and I hope that y'all win some money. Like that's always the key. And even if you're not playing in a league that wins money, you still want to win. So
yeah, and you should be playing in a money league. If you're playing in a free league, what are you doing? Why are you wasting that time? But
true.
yeah, like you said, we'll be here. Mock drafts, sleepers, busts, breakouts. We'll be getting into all of that, giving you the best position to not only win your draft, win your league, win that money. So we'll be back. We'll be back with plenty of it.
All right. So until next time, let's do it.
Peace.